There was this young guy named Alex, 22 years old, living in a chill little beach town. On the outside, his life seemed all right. He had a job at a small cafe, a few buddies to hang with, and a family that checked in on him. But inside, man, he was falling apart. His brain never shut up. It was like a TV stuck on full volume with 10 different channels running at the same time. One channel was his regrets, stuff he messed up in high school, opportunities he blew, people he let down. Another channel was fear. Questions like, what if I never make it in life? What if I'm just a nobody forever? And then the loudest channel of all, comparison. He'd scroll through Instagram late at night, staring at people his age, driving new cars, traveling the world, posting big wins. And there he was, stuck, broke, and convinced he was failing. This constant thinking ate him alive. He couldn't sleep, his stomach always felt tight. At work, he zoned out. With his friends, he laughed on the outside, but inside, he felt hollow. The anxiety was chewing him up day by day, and he started thinking maybe this was just his life, just endless noise. But one night, while sitting on the beach at 3 a.m. with his head spinning, Alex overheard some old guys talking. They mentioned this fisherman who lived out past the docks. Apparently, the guy had once been in the Navy, had sailed through storms that could swallow whole ships, and yet he lived now with this crazy, unshakable calm. They said, nothing rattles that man anymore. He's like the ocean when it's dead still. For Alex, those words hit like a flare in the dark. He thought, if someone's lived through chaos like that and found peace, maybe he can teach me how. The very next morning, Alex went looking. He found the old fisherman sitting on a crooked wooden bench mending his net by hand. His hair was gray, his skin weathered like driftwood, but his eyes, man, his eyes were something else. They weren't tired, they weren't restless. They looked calm, steady, like deep water. Alex didn't even waste time. He blurted out, "Sir, I'm drowning in my head. I can't stop comparing myself, worrying about the future, beating myself up about the past. My thoughts just won't shut up. I can't breathe half the time. Please, tell me how to get out of this." The old fisherman kept tying knots, then finally looked up with a small smile. He pointed at the ocean and said, "You see that water? The waves on top, sometimes they're calm, sometimes they're wild. But the deep water underneath, it never changes, always steady. That's your mind too, son. You just forgot how to dive beneath the surface." Alex frowned. Dive beneath? I don't get it. The fisherman chuckled, stood up, and handed Alex an empty bucket. "Then let's try this. Take this bucket, walk to the end of that pier, fill it with ocean water, and bring it back to me. But here's the rule. You can't spill a single drop. And remember, the waves don't care about your bucket." Alex thought it sounded kinda dumb, but he was desperate. He gripped the bucket and stepped onto the pier. The boards creaked under his feet, the waves smacked the sides, seagulls screamed overhead, fishermen shouted to each other, boats rocked against the ropes. Chaos everywhere. But Alex kept his eyes locked on that bucket. Step by step, careful, breathing steady. The waves splashed, almost knocking water over, but he held tight. His arms ached, his shirt got soaked from the spray, but his focus never left the bucket. Finally, dripping wet, he made it back to the old man. "Here," he said, panting, "not a drop spilled." The fisherman's eyes twinkled. "Good. Now tell me, did you hear the gulls? Did you notice the yelling fishermen? Did you feel the pier shaking?" Alex blinked, surprised. "No, I was only focused on keeping the water steady." The old man nodded slowly. "Exactly. That bucket is your present moment. When you hold on to it, nothing else matters. Not the waves, not the noise, not the chaos. You forgot about yesterday. You stopped worrying about tomorrow. You weren't scrolling through anybody's life but your own. You were just here. And that, son, is peace. That's the deep water. Alex stood there frozen, like the words had just cracked open something inside him. For the first time in forever, his chest didn't feel so tight. He finally got it. Peace wasn't about shutting life down or running away. It was about locking on to the moment he was living in, right here, right now. That night, Alex walked home a different man. The waves still crashed, the gulls still screamed, the world was still loud. But inside he was steady, like the deep part of the ocean. He finally understood how to hold his bucket. And from that day on, whenever life tried to knock him over, whether it was a bad day at work, social media envy, or his own brain spinning stories, he remembered the fisherman's words: hold your bucket. Stay here. Stay now. If this story hit you, smash that like button, share it with your people, and subscribe for more real-life lessons. Thanks for rolling with us. Until then, stay grounded, stay steady, stay peaceful.